On one morning, 2 days before Halloween, a woman came to move into the community known as Nordsville. She knew it was time to put up Halloween decorations, so she did. That was until her neighbor across the street, a man named Tom, came to look at what her decorations was. And then he looked at it. It was very disturbing. Not the Halloweenish type you'd expect, but more of a horror kind. I guess she didn't know the purpose of Halloween. She seemed to be gazing into a distance, not looking at him through her upstairs window. There was ghost, goblin, splatter, and blood on the house. It was then the next day that she finally went to go pick a pumpkin, the plumpest and the heaviest. So she went to a pumpkin patch. It was about time before they run out of pumpkins. So then she found one. She paid the person at the cash register some foreign money, but he accepted it anyway since she didn't have real American dollars. And then she took home the pumpkin and put it on the table near the bowl, next to the knife. She knew where she left it. Then she heard a knock. She went to go see who it was. It was Tom. He asked, "How are you doing? Do you enjoy this new community?" She said, "I'm doing just fine," and slammed the door on his face. He didn't know what was going on in there. But what her secret was that her son was secretly in the basement crying for help. The only reason why she put her in there was because he was misbehaving. It wasn't like torture or anything. It was just a punishment behavior issue. So then she finally let him out, and then he ran upstairs crying. He was just a troublemaker that liked to prank people a lot. Then the next day was Halloween. It was about dinner time when she made baked chicken with ginger flavoring on the top. Her son went trick-or-treating in a skeleton costume with a witch's trick-or-treat bag. So then he went out. And then, right when she looked out the window, he disappeared. He must have caught up with his friends. So then, she finally thought it was time to make dessert. Or shall I say, dessert. She went over and took the knife. She was about to cut it, but suddenly, it kind of glue. But she didn't know what it was all about. So she let go of the knife and was a little bit frightened. So then she took the knife and scarred the pumpkin. But this time it was growing brighter and brighter every time she lowered the knife. It appears that it had a bound shield across it to protect itself from being cut open to made into dessert. So then she just cut it, but suddenly the knife threw back at her and cut her arm open. She cursed. She then healed it. Then she tried the pumpkin one more time. The stem. She cut off the stem. Then she cut open the insides of the pumpkin. It was glowing like it was a living hockey sticks. Anyways, I don't really want to curse. I'm just so scared right now. What's gonna happen next? When she got all the insides out and all of the seeds, she finally placed them in the bowl next to the pumpkin. It was then that it appeared that the seeds and the leftover pumpkin started to morph together. The knife was thrown, almost cutting her face open, but it sliced a piece of her hair and hit the wall. It was then the pumpkin became a weirdness. Then it formed into a human head, screaming for help. She was frightened right now. She didn't know such pumpkin can do such thing. Then the outsides of the pumpkin was next. She was going to make it into a pumpkin pie, but it was more like a pumpkin disaster. It exploded, but appeared to be shiny glass shards, and it cut her chest, her arm, and her leg. But she dodged the rest. And then, when she realized it, inside the bowl, there was nothing. Again, she ran out of her house, locked the door, and no one was to ever go back in there, ever again.